Now, these are all written questions. The first one, if you need to scroll back and forth, it's next or previous. Go right back to the task instructions, and in the task part there is the preliminary task, and that is to identify which state or territory that you're in, because that will mean different legislation. So make sure that you select that. I'm in Victoria, so I'll select Victoria. If you're in New South Wales, select New South Wales and click next, and you can save it and come back. So question 1 is complete the table below about business systems. So you need to identify 2 business systems that support the development of effective workplace relationships. And in your own words, you need to describe how they support the development. So business system 1 here and business system 2 here, and briefly explain how each system supports the development of effective workplace relationships. Now it says the responses must be 50 words or more. That gives. So if you put an explanation of how you think it can support effective workplace relationships, then put an example, and that could be a real example or just one that you can think of to show how it would work in a real situation. The second one, we're going to assume you're working as a receptionist and for Bounce Fitness, and you can access the codes of conduct and diversity policies here. You can click on them, the links there, and we're going to explain how each policy and procedure supports the development of effective workplace relationships. So have a look at each one of those and then just explain how that supports the development. So a bit of a summary of what's in there as well would be helpful. Question 3, answer the questions below about the interpersonal styles. So in your own words, define interpersonal styles. So what does that mean to you? What does the different styles mean to you? And in your own words, explain the relevance of interpersonal styles to workplace relationships. So again, that's 50 words or more. So a few sentences basically in that, and you can explain the relevance of how interpersonal styles relate to workplace relationships. The next question is on communication skills. So identify at least 2 communication skills that are used to improve workplace relationships. In your own words, explain how each identified communication skill can help improve work relationships. And the response must be in 50 words or more again. So that's a few sentences at least. So 2 different communication skills, and here, how can it help improve workplace relationships? Question 5, in your own words, explain how each concept listed is relevant to workplace relationships. So consultation, how does that relate and how is that relevant to workplace relationships? Cultural sensitivity, social sensitivity, networking, and conflict resolution. Again, 50 words or more, so you're looking at least a few sentences to explain that. Access the legislation applicable to your state or territory. So that's where that preliminary task at the start is, to help work out which one is relevant to what you're doing in your assessment, and identify at least 2 requirements provided in the legislation that are relevant to managing effective work relationships, and then explain how each identified requirement can be used or implemented in the workplace to manage effective workplace relationships. So legislative requirement 1 and 2, and then describing how it can be implemented to manage the workplace relationships. And the final question is question 7, and you'll be answer the questions on the methods that can be used to develop processes for different situations. So the first one is identify at least one method that can be used to develop a process for consulting with employees. And then we have conflict management and then task issue management. So the 3 spots there. So that's the 7 questions done.